True, unshakable confidence does not come from the rising sign. In fact, it comes from a much quieter placement, and this placement is your Saturn. Saturn is the big boss. She shows up in every single one of our lives and shows us where we need to mature, where we are immature, and where we lack true confidence. It's what we're bad at and here to learn. So this is part 2 of me going through all of the Saturn signs and showing what you need to actually master in this lifetime, where you need to grow up. So we are starting off with a Leo Saturn. This placement is quite a juxtaposition because you have Saturn where you're learning your discipline and responsibility in a very childlike constellation that is Leo. But what is the spiritually mature truth of a Leo, a healed Leo? A true healed Leo is sunshine. It is light. It is just beaming. Leo is literally ruled by the sun, so it's a very embodied placement to have. But what defines a healthy Leo is where they're directing that light. A unhealed Leo says, whoa, I am light, people are looking at me, and then they stop there. Me. But a healed Leo says, whoa, people are looking at me. Whoa, why don't I use this attention and flip it into a very collective energy that shines that light back onto others? If people's eyes are on me anyways, I might as well give it back and try to be a light worker for the collective through me just embodying light. So you really are moving away from more egocentric viewpoints of the Leo, of the sun, of your star power, and using that to be fully embodied and shining it on others and showing that love to others and not feeling a lack or a scarcity. You are the sun. You will continue to beam. There is no lack there. So live with that abundance. That abundance and that generosity is truly maturity for you and where confidence can lie. Then we have a Virgo Saturn, and a Virgo Saturn is learning responsibility in areas of health and service to others. A Virgo knows how to do things the right way. It's learning the correct course of action for yourself and others. So if you're maturing in this area, you're maturing to have that spiritual compass of what is true and what is right. You are redefining your morals in this lifetime. Judgment is a word that comes up with Virgos because they do have this natural understanding of what is right, what is true. But an unhealed, immature Virgo that lacks confidence is knowing where that judgment is coming from. That is a gift. That level of discernment, that is a gift. But if you are using that gift to spread hate or judge others, that is ugly. That is a lack of confidence. And remember, Virgo is a mutable sign. So yes, you do have this level of discernment with what is right, but that might not be the path that someone chooses, and that is their right. That is when hands are off Virgo Saturn, you release, you let people do their thing. Like Mel Robbins says, let them. So true confidence for Virgo Saturn is being a guide, having that jurisdiction, having that discernment, having that understanding of what is true and what is right, but also releasing control. That is so powerful and that is so confident. If you have your Saturn in the constellation of Libra, we are thinking justice, we are thinking relationships, we are thinking about the concept of you and the other and the magic that takes place in between. Libra is constantly weighing. It's constantly weighing its options. It's constantly understanding the back and the forth. So if Saturn is here to mature you in this area, what do you think that means? I'll give you a second. Okay. That means that you are learning to be more balanced because you are not. You are truly learning to understand the other in this lifetime. There is such an importance with this, guys, and we see it in the world as we know it today. There's so much hate. There's so much splitting and separation. Every side is very extreme, and that is because there is a lack of that Libra energy, that lack of trying to understand. It's the opposite. It's stonewalling, and that is very immature. That is a lack of confidence in what you think, because someone who's truly confident is okay with understanding the other person's viewpoint because they're confident in their own, and they can be mutable and understand, oh, their reality can also exist. So Libra is showing you this is where you need to focus. You need to work with the other. That is going to be a new level of confidence that I'm sure you're not even used to. Then we have Saturn in the constellation of Scorpio. Saturn is not playing around here. She is forcing you to face your stuff in this lifetime. You are here to work through and move through pain in a mature way. You are being forced to see your shadows in this lifetime. This is an extremely karmic placement. You need to take care of some business in this lifetime. This is almost an extreme placement, but you are here to see through the eyes of adversity. You are here to be a voice for those who experience this. You are here to find maturity within this pain, to alchemize this pain, look it in the eyes, and be a guide for others, be a teacher for others. You are here to be strong. You are here to be confident. You are here to be grounded. But it's through facing that pain continually and learning to be responsible with these shadows. Because Saturn here for you in this lifetime means, okay, this person needs to face these things. They need to mature in this area. If they do not, it is going to affect other generations. That is all for part 2. I will see you in part 3. This is a very long series. I have a lot to say about the Saturn placement, so make sure you're following along if you haven't already. If you truly, unshakably want to be confident, then there is one placement that I am going to put you on. And this placement is one of my least favorite placements. But the miracles that this placement creates for you, if you can face it and lean into it, is astronomical. And that is Saturn. That is your Saturn placement. The sign and the house that it is in is going to show you what is uncomfortable for you, where you need to step up, where you need to mature, where you need to grow. This is where you are incredibly immature. But to have that extreme level of confidence is to have that extreme maturity in yourself. What confidence is true deep understanding and inner knowing. So I'm going to go through all of the Saturn signs and tell you where you need to mature and what you need to mature in to reach that level of inner confidence that I know you need. And if you want to take in what I'm saying today and plug it into Astra to actually make a plan for yourself, hit Ask Me Anything. And from there, you can make a comprehensive plan to actually make this shift happen. So where do you need to mature if you have a Saturn Aries? You are being called upon to be a little bit more selfish in this lifetime. Yes, I said selfish. Aries is calling you to this place of independence and trust within yourself. You are learning to trust yourself so much that you become pioneering in this lifetime. You are not here to people please, you are here to trust yourself and lead. Your Saturn really is pulling you into this place of leadership. I know it feels uncomfortable, but just trust it. And I promise you, you are going to feel like the most confident version of yourself when you can reach that. If you have a Taurus Saturn, you are learning about financial literacy in this lifetime, number 1. You are starting new roots in this lifetime. You've probably experienced a lot at an early age, and you are now focused on really sinking your teeth into sustainable elements and investments in your life. You are making those healthy decisions, and I know they're boring, they don't taste good, they're not the candy bar, they're not the slice of pizza, but you are here to do it the right way in this lifetime. But if you stay immature in these areas of your life and you stay in sort of this position of debt, in this position of a victim mentality, and just kind of staying in these toxic cycles and patterns that you have in your mind, it's going to hold you back from your most confident self. So you are in fact here to master this. If your Saturn is in Gemini, you are learning to be more flexible and more mutable and more kaleidoscopic in this lifetime. You're here to be more curious, and true maturity is staying curious. It's not being fixed in your idea. True maturity, true confidence is being able to truly empathize and listen and try to understand what the other person is saying and valuing their perspective, not counting it out, not being tunnel visioned. True maturity is knowing that we're never at a final form and we're always ever evolving. And that is a healed Gemini, that is a mature Gemini, that's a healthy Gemini. And embodying that, your highest form, is such a confidence booster for anyone. A Cancer Saturn is here to embody and understand the maturity in receiving. If you have a Cancer Saturn, chances are you really feel like you need to go towards what it is that you want. The word control is coming to mind, so feeling like you're the one who can only be in control of what is good for you and what is right for you. And with a Cancer Saturn, you're learning to be more empathetic and more of that intuitive, healing, nurturing side of yourself that is more feminine. You're really going to be focused on the embodiment of the feminine energy. Feminine energy, it's just receiving. That's the objective aspect of the feminine, but you can subjectively make it anything that you want. And your true confidence is in that softness. It's softening yourself. That's when you're the most confident. But when you feel like you need to control and always be a couple steps ahead, you lose that confidence. So your confidence is in trusting, knowing, receiving, softening. That is all for part 1, but part 2 and part 3 will be posted, so make sure you're following along. I am Sarah, an astrologer, also just a girl. But I'll see you guys in part 2.